The clock glowed 2:17 a.m., its red digits slicing through the dark like a warning. I woke to the faint creak of the floorboard in the hallway, a sound so soft it might have been my imagination, but my gut churned with a certainty that something was wrong. My apartment felt too still, the air heavy with the kind of silence that screams secrets. I lay frozen in bed, heart thudding against my ribs, straining to hear another sound. Then came the unmistakable click of the front door's latch, delicate but deliberate, like a thief slipping out into the night. That's when I knew Lila was leaving. I threw off the covers, the cold hardwood biting my bare feet as I crept toward the living room. The dim streetlight filtered through the blinds, casting slatted shadows across the couch where Lila's jacket no longer hung. My breath caught, sharp and jagged, as I pictured her face. Those wide hazel eyes that always seemed to hold a private joke, that teasing smile she'd flash when I asked too many questions. 3 years together, and I'd learned to trust that smile. But now, in the hollow quiet of my apartment, doubt slithered in, cold and venomous. I grabbed my phone, hands trembling, and checked her last text. Long day, babe. Crashing early. Love you. Sent at 10:43 p.m. A lie, maybe? Or was I paranoid, conjuring betrayal out of a late-night errand? My thumb hovered over her name, itching to call, to demand answers, but fear stopped me. Fear of what she'd say, or worse, what she wouldn't. Instead, I yanked on a hoodie and sneakers, driven by a restless ache I couldn't name, and slipped out the door. The stairwell smelled of damp concrete and stale cigarette smoke, the fluorescent lights buzzing faintly overhead. Each step echoed, amplifying the pulse hammering in my ears. Outside, the city was a restless beast, its distant sirens and muffled car horns swallowed by the October chill. I scanned the street, half expecting to see Lila's silhouette vanishing around a corner. There, a flash of her red scarf, unmistakable, darting past the laundromat 2 blocks down. My stomach twisted, a cocktail of dread and adrenaline, as I followed, keeping my distance. She moved with purpose, her steps quick and light, like someone who knew exactly where they were going. The scarf fluttered behind her, a crimson flag in the sodium glow of streetlights. I told myself it could be innocent, a late-night walk to clear her head, a trip to the 24-hour pharmacy. But the memory of her recent silences gnawed at me. The way she'd linger over her phone, screen tilted just out of view, the extra hours at work that left her smelling faintly of unfamiliar cologne, the way her laughter had grown brittle, like it was hiding something sharp. I trailed her for 10 minutes, my breath fogging in the crisp air, until she stopped at a diner on 14th Street. Its neon sign buzzed, casting a sickly yellow glow over the cracked pavement. Through the smudged glass, I saw her slide into a booth across from a man I didn't recognize. He was older, maybe mid-40s, with sharp cheekbones and a tailored coat that screamed money. My chest tightened as she leaned toward him, her smile soft and intimate, the kind she used to save for me. I stood rooted to the sidewalk, the cold seeping through my sneakers, as my mind raced to rationalize it. A coworker? A friend I'd never met? But the way his hand brushed hers across the table, lingering just a second too long, shattered every excuse. My throat burned and I wanted to storm in, to demand answers, to scream until the world made sense again. But my feet wouldn't move. Instead, I watched, a voyeur to my own heartbreak, as they laughed over coffee, their heads bent close like conspirators. The walk back to the apartment was a blur, my thoughts a jagged mess of anger and grief. I replayed every moment of our relationship, searching for cracks I'd ignored. The late nights she'd blamed on deadlines, the sudden weekend trips to visit family, the way she'd pull away when I tried to hold her too long, claiming she needed space. I chalked it up to stress, to her demanding job at the gallery. I told myself love meant giving her room to breathe. Now each memory felt like a betrayal, a breadcrumb leading to this moment. Back in the apartment, I sat on the couch, the silence suffocating. Her scent, lavender and something faintly citrus, lingered on the throw blanket, mocking me. I wanted to hate her, to let rage burn away the ache, but all I felt was a hollow kind of sadness, like I'd lost something I couldn't name. My phone buzzed and her name lit up the screen. Hey, couldn't sleep. Went for a walk. Back soon. The lie stung worse than the truth. I typed a reply. I know where you are. But deleted it, my hands shaking. Confrontation felt too final, like admitting she was already gone. When the door creaked open at 3:52 a.m., I was still on the couch, the blanket clutched in my fists. Lila froze in the doorway, her scarf dangling from one hand, her face pale under the dim light. "You're up," she said, her voice tight like she was testing the air for danger. "I heard you leave." My words came out flat, stripped of the storm raging inside me. "Where were you?" She hesitated, her eyes flicking to the floor before meeting mine. "Just needed air. Couldn't sleep." Her voice was too smooth, too practiced, and it cut deeper than any shout. "Don't lie to me." The words slipped out low and raw, and her face changed guilt, defiance, and something like fear all at once. She stepped closer, her lips parting as if to argue, but I cut her off. "I saw you, Lila. At the diner. With him." Her breath hitched, and for a moment she looked small caught. Then her jaw tightened and she glared, a spark of anger igniting in her eyes. "You followed me?" she snapped, turning it back on me. "You don't get to spy on me, Ethan. You don't own me." The accusation hit like a slap, but it was her tone, sharp, unapologetic, that broke me. "Who is he?" I asked, my voice cracking despite my effort to stay steady. She crossed her arms, her scarf falling to the floor like a discarded secret. "It's not what you think," she said, but her words lacked conviction, crumbling under the weight of my stare. "He's someone from work. A client. It was just coffee."